The medical diagnosis are done with technologies, with the technical help, and all our gadgets at home are connected using technology. You know, every living becomes smarter, and it's going to be much more smarter with the advancements of technology. Every domain has got its own evolution. Similarly, the education also has got its own evolution. My dear friends, today the education is witnessing alarming changes, particularly higher education with the advent of, with the introduction of NEP 2020. The Government of India, Ministry of Education, is envisaging a standard education for everyone. A global standard education should be accessible to everyone in the country. Even a remote corner, a student from village down south in India or on top in Jammu and Kashmir should be able to access excellent education across India. For that, UGC and the apex bodies are striving its level best to improve the quality of higher education. Yes, they improve the standards of higher education on par with global standards. My dear friends, one such effort is introduction of NEP 2020, where NEP 2020 has got several themes. And one of the major themes is ICT, Information, Communication, and Technology. My dear friends, though it is just in the order, it may be arranged, later, but it has got its own importance. It has got its own significance among all the themes. Yes, my dear friends. Today learners are completely different from when we were students. So we need to be smarter and we need to give them a better experience of learning. In order to, just give them a better experience and outcome-based learning, we need to be a different teacher. We need to be a smart teacher. And we need to engage with innovative pedagogical approaches. For that, NEP suggests so much under ICT, Information Communication Technology. So this session would certainly enlighten all of us together. It's not that I'm going to give you something completely new. We are going to together discuss how NEP, particularly on the theme ICT, could help us improve the standards of higher education by technology integration. Are you ready now to listen? And my dear friends, this session is going to be with two parts. One is with the theoretical presentation, and the next part, how we could effectively deal with the ICT practically when you go back on with adherence of NEP guidelines on ICT, when we go back tomorrow or day after tomorrow to the classes effectively. Right. So let me just share my presentation. Kindly hold on until I share my presentation. My dear friends, I'm just sharing my presentation. Kindly hold if my presentation is visible. Is my presentation visible to you? I've just shared it. Kindly wait. Yeah. Once it is visible to you, press 1 in the chat window. I want everyone to press 1 in the chat window if the presentation is visible. Are you able to see my presentation? Can someone tell me, is my presentation visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
What do you see? Kindly press 1 in the chat window. I request everybody to press 1 in the chat window if things are okay with you. I want everyone to respond so that we can fix if there are any errors. Thank you. So my dear friends, we're going to spend time on the presentation on ICT, expanded as Information Communication Technology. I want all of you to understand the ICT-based teaching, learning, evaluation practices suggested by NEP. Understand the framework of blended learning, which has got so many elements. Framework of blended learning is an umbrella term under which there are so many new pedagogical approaches are just explained. And my dear friends, I'm going to explain to you a lot of tools, both AI and conventional, for blended learning. I want you to please befriend few tools for your teaching, learning, evaluation practices so that we can become smarter. Now, I'm just posting you a question. I'm posting you a question. You know, we are witnessing alarming changes, particularly the digitalization, the transformation, the post-COVID transformation, the digitalization. Is it just because of COVID-19? Just because of COVID-19, it has happened. Those who say yes, press 1. Those who say no, it is not just because of COVID-19 alone, press 2 in the chat window. Am I clear to you? If you say the digitalization has happened just because of COVID-19, press 1. Those who say no, it is not just because of COVID-19, even otherwise it should have happened, press 2. Quickly make it difference. Oh, we have mixed up answers. I respect all your answers. I respect all your answers. Thank you, dear friends. Oh, somebody has pressed 3. I don't know what do they communicate. Hasina, madam? I suppose it's a mistake. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's great. Great of you all. My dear friends, as majority of you have given, you know, COVID-19 is not the reason for this digitalization, this transformation. Even otherwise, this should have happened. You know, COVID-19 that has made this transformation more visible. Yes, because only during COVID-19, all of us, almost all of us in the world, all the teaching fraternity and the learning, students, learners, everybody felt the need of digital tools and technology. So it doesn't mean that, it is just because of COVID-19, it has happened. In every field, every field has got its own evolution, right? So the education also has got its evolution. Even if COVID-19 has not taken place, this transformation would have taken. As majority of you, I go along with you. And my dear friends, one more thing, COVID-19 has, made it more visible, made it more, it has given more glamour. I mean, it has given more visibility for this transformation because everybody felt the need of it and everybody was using at the same time. And some of us immediately after COVID-19 felt that, we need not have digital tools here again. No, it is not so. It is the need of the hour. It is based on the science of the times. The science of the time demands digital integration today. Okay, my dear friends. So even if COVID-19 has not taken place, this transformation would have happened. Okay. So those who would like to add any of your idea, you're most welcome. Anybody is interested? Would like to add your idea? Anybody? Dr. Joby Joy? Dr. Joby Joy, would you like to add anything?
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Please.
Nearly in the, I don't exactly remember, but before 2010 itself, we had a program. We started the online tutoring program. There was a website, people called it www.progressive.com. At that time, I was offering online tuition program for the students of United States of America during that slot. Then
That's
also
great.
at that time also they started with the TeamViewer. Then the software that they used was Skype for conferencing, and TeamViewer they used for sharing of these notes. And the teacher used to write on the tablet typing with a pen or ink, and the student who is sitting in United States would have seen that what he was able to see it on his screen. That was a real experience at that time. But I really enjoyed when the whole team of teachers started switching after this COVID to the after that COVID time. All of us started, but for people who had that exposure earlier, it was very easy to switch to these things, and we could that enthusiasm to switch to different modes of learning. That provision came in a great way in our institutions after that. But we, some of us got opportunity even before that. That's what I gave that two there, because without COVID also, sometimes it would have switched like this.
Something amazing, ma'am. Really very great of you. You know, even in the year 2010, that was the time that there was no much advancements in connectivity and so on. But still, you had a course conducted for students from US. That's great, great of you, ma'am. And thank you for vouching my statement that it is not just because of COVID-19. Even otherwise, this is the need of the hour. Fine, thank you. Anybody would like to add on? Anybody is interested? Would like to add on? Dr. Anila, would you like to add anything? Dr. Anila, Dr. Akila, Dr. Aswadi, or Dr. Aparna? Any of you? Any one of you? Just share your insight. Please share your insights. Anybody? Okay, fine. So, my dear friends, this is not just because of COVID-19, even otherwise, this should have happened. Now, my dear friends, NEP on ICT talks about telecommunication transformation, progressive transformation technology. These are all the reasons for the technology that we are enjoying today. Look at here, the 1G, the phone brick like the big mobile phone, brick like mobile phone. And the second one is small one, most of us you would have used. And the QWERTY keyboard, 3G and 4G, of course, everybody would have used, and still some of us use. And 5G, almost it is a groundbreaking technology, and everybody is using, and everybody is able to send and receive multimedia content at any time, and with the speed of light. So let me just take you. How many of you have used this? What have you used? If you've used 1, press 1. If you've used 2, press 2. If you've used all that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whatever you have used, I want you to mention here. Please quickly mention what type of gadgets that you have used. Telecommunication gadget. I mean mobile phone gadget. So accordingly, you mentioned in the chat window quickly. I want you to mention in the chat window. Okay, Dr. Binita has used almost about 4. That's great. 4 and 5. Okay. That should be. Dr. Aparna uses 2 to 5. That's great. Come on. Dr. Anu has used 3, 4, 5. Great. 2, 3, 4, 5. Aparna ma'am, thank you. Dr. Saranya uses 2, 3, 4. Fine. Dr. Arthur, Dr. Indu, Dr. Akila. Dr. Manju, you have used all the 5. That's great. Amazing. Dr. Aswadi uses 3 and 4. Dr. Hasina uses. Okay. Dr. Rohini, thank you. Dr. Anila, thank you. So almost all of us had exposure of using most of the gadgets, right? I still remember, my dear friends, this 1G. 1G, that was a big brick-like mobile phone. That was the time for incoming calls. Even if you have attended a single minute, just a single second, you are charged 6 rupees and more, even for incoming. But now, look at the transformation. All of us are able to enjoy seamless connection. Many of us connected only through mobile. Even I have connected only through mobile. So all of us are able to enjoy the advancements, complete seamless connectivity with the mobile phone today through Internet Service Provider, ISP. So thanks to technological and progressive transformation technology. My dear friends, let me just give you the technical aspects of this 1G to 5G. Look at here, this 1G was introduced in the year 1984. 1984, see the capacity, only 2.4 kilobyte per second. Only 2.4 kilobyte second. Very, very light. Very light. It was used only for voice communication. Okay. And in the year 1990, the 2G was introduced. We were able to share 64 kilobyte per second. Not even 1 MB. 64 kilobyte per second. Very, very less data. Very less data. Okay. We are able to use it for voice as well as smaller data. Okay. And in the year 1998, when 3G was introduced, we were able to share multimedia content, audio, video files, but with the limited capacity of transfer, 2 megabyte per second, only 2 megabyte per second we were able to share. And my dear friends, with the advent of 4G and the year 2011, we were able to share 100 megabyte per second. 1 second, we are able to send 100 MB. So we are able to transfer pictures, we are able to transfer videos, we are able to send anything that we want. And my dear friends, with 5G in the year 2019, we are able to transfer 10 gigabyte per second. Just in 1 second, we are able to download 10 movies. Okay, it is completely with low latency, which means no delay. When I say hello, next second, not next second, simultaneously, a person in US, 20,000 kilometers away, they are able to listen. Hello. It is equivalent to the speed of light, 3 into 10 to the power 8. That is the capacity of 5G. And my dear friends, the progressive transformation technology has paved the way for innovative, addition into a smarter life, also for educational advancements. So thanks once again to progressive transformation technology. When we come to know about the evolution of mobile communication, we should also take into account of evolution of education. My dear friends, education is put into 3-4 generations. Education 1.0 emphasizes on Gurukul system, master centric, where teachers everything, centric education, where memory was emphasized highly. Memory was given importance. Technology was completely forbidden. But whereas 2.0, exams were introduced. There is a collaboration, and there are technology here and there, uncoordinated technology was introduced. Okay, so education 2.0, slight change from master centric. Education came in, and the systems, policies of education system all came in. And in education 3.0, as we all know, there is a great shift from master centric to student centric, teacher centric to learner centric. So everything was centered around the learner. We all know in the year 2000, we were introduced with the choice-based credit system, CBCS, choice-based credit system. The students were given freedom to choose their own courses through elective courses. And there were a few technological advancements such as flipped model classroom, blended learning, all those were introduced, and students were, encouraged to learn on their own. Self-learning was introduced. And of course, in education 4.0, what we are now today, innovative, intensive pedagogical approaches were introduced. Yes, activity-based learning, experiential learning, service learning, blended learning. All these are new norms, new pedagogical approaches which would give the learners a best learning experience. And technologies such as cloud computing has made the access of material from anywhere, anytime, with any device. And my dear friends, earlier we were emphasizing how we were worried about getting them a degree, getting our students a degree, or sending them out of the college with a degree. But today, we are just sending them with employability skills. Yes, my dear friends, there was earlier time, there was emphasis on knowledge, but today the emphasis is on skills. Okay, skill is given more importance. So rather than knowledge, along with knowledge, I don't say rather than, along with knowledge, the skill is also given equal importance. Sometimes more importance is given to skills. So knowledge and skills for the learners go together so that they become employable, they become job ready, they become future ready. My dear friends, when we talk about a different education scenario, different education generation, starting from 1.0 to 4.0, Today, we have lot of modern techniques of ICT based education. Please be reminded of there are modern techniques that govern the today's teaching learning evaluation. So the first one is computer assisted instruction. What do you mean by computer assisted instruction? We all know usage of computers. It could be a laptop, it could be a mobile phone, or it could be any smart gadgets. Okay. So when I use computers for teaching learning process, it becomes computer assisted instruction. When I use computers for teaching learning, it becomes computer assisted instruction. Okay, my dear friends, for teaching and learning process. So computer assisted instruction that facilitates the learners to learn. I mean, the facilitator teachers, first of all, to reach out to the learners with the help of computers. So if I teach with the help of computers with presentation or with any other simulators for making the learners learn something extraordinary with the help of computers rather than simply giving them notes. Computer assisted instruction is called as CAI. It is a method of learning where the students use educational software to understand the lesson or to practice the problems and to get instant feedback. Okay, my dear friends. So it could be completely interactive and multimedia based. Any content that we share, it can be completely interactive and multimedia, and it allows them to have self-learning, and it also gives them individualized learning. Okay, my dear friends, individualized learning. So please understand, CAI, computer assisted instruction, is a teaching learning method with computers being used to deliver educational content. To deliver the educational content, we use computers or any other gadgets to make the children learn in a very, very simple manner. That is what we call by computer assisted instruction. And my dear friends, then we'll go ahead with the next type of learning, computer based learning. Computer based learning, it is just related to computer assisted instruction. Computer assisted instruction, people, even teachers, use it effectively for reaching out to the children, particularly for instructional notes and so on. Whereas here, computer based learning, computer based learning, shortly known as CBL. CBL. So CBL is an approach, is a learning approach. Please understand carefully. CBL, computer based learning, is a learning approach in which computers are primary medium for delivering educational content. So it allows the learners to study independently with minimal teacher intervention. See, for example, all the MOOC courses come under this computer based learning. So people use it for self-learning. Okay, my dear friends. And some of the key characters, learning happens through computers. Mostly it is self-paced. Students learn on their own. They use digital content and multimedia content because they have to learn on their own. Okay, my dear friends. See, sometimes offline, computer-based learning is CDs, DVDs, or videos played. Online is internet-based learning. All the MOOCs come under this. So now I am just moving on to the next one, dear friends. 1 minute, dear friends. Is my screen visible to you all? Is my screen visible to you all? My dear friends, is my screen visible to you all? Are you listening to me? Is there any clarification to be made?
No,
Things are
sir.
good?
Screen is not visible.
Any clarification?
Yes, sir.
Any clarification? So immediately after completing the third one, I want you to analyze sometime and give your results. Right, the third one, my dear friends, I'm just going for the third one. Third one is computer managed learning. We call it as computer managed learning. What do you mean by computer managed learning? Both it has got both teaching, learning, as well as the administration. Okay. See, we need to have the progress of every learner. We need to have the progress of every learner. We need to monitor the students' progress completely so that to give them results or to give them degree, all that are essential. So for that, we can make use of computers or computing based devices. Okay, my dear friends. So my dear friends, it is computer managed learning. In short, it is known as CML. CML, computer managed learning. It is a learning approach where computers are used to plan. Please understand, to plan out, to deliver the lecture. So this is the cycle. So I repeat, computer managed learning is a learning approach where the computers are being used to plan, to deliver the lectures, to assign the tasks, monitor and evaluate again. So this is the meaning of computer managed learning. So it manages the students' data. It tracks the learning progress, whether the students have completed or not. And it can conduct you online tests and offline tests wherever, whichever necessary. And we can also have performance reports for the students. Support system for decision making. For example, if many students have failed in one of the subjects, so we can easily just get support for the decision making, collecting the data. So these are all some of the key features of computer managed learning. So this is more or less administrative feature of learning process, monitoring the progress of every learner. Okay, my dear friends. Am I clear to you, my dear friends? Am I clear to you? My dear friends, am I clear to you? Now, I want all of you to please go through these three mechanisms. Please go through these three mechanisms. Computer assisted instruction, CAI, computer based learning, CBL, computer managed learning, computer managed learning. So I want all of you to just think of and give your own methods of teaching these three: computer managed, computer assisted instruction, computer based learning, and computer managed learning. Just give your options, dear friends. What are the techniques that you follow? Computer assisted instruction, what have you followed? Computer based learning, what have you followed? Okay. Computer managed learning, what have you followed? So you can give your options in the chat window quickly. I'm just waiting for your response. Come on, my dear friends. Can I have your options? If you have done something on these, come on, give your options in the chat window. Come on, my dear friends. Come on, give your options in the chat window, dear friends. Reflect upon if you have used computer-based learning, if you have used computer-assisted instruction, if you have used computer-managed learning. For what you have used, please give your options in the chat window quickly. Quickly, dear friends. Okay, presentation, CBL, making use of internet. Okay, great, Dr. Joby. I want everyone to give one by one. Wonderful answers are coming up. Great. I want everyone to reflect and give your answers, please. Just think up. See, simulations are coming up. Thank you, Dr. Jeeta. Simulations, very good. Yes, wonderfully given. Everybody has given wonderfully well. Namita ma'am, Aparna ma'am, Sanal, Professor Sanal, Aparna ma'am, Aswati ma'am, Anu ma'am, Ardha sir, Chita ma'am, Jalaja ma'am, Shipli, Vanita ma'am, Akila ma'am, Jobi sir, Aparna ma'am, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, Namita ma'am at the last, she has given, CAI, computer assisted instruction. If you are trying to teach using computers, presentation. Very well. We are reaching out to the students using the presentation. Yes, that is computer assisted instruction. And if you use internet and internet-based tools, say, for example, students use computers for learning. Students use mobile phone for learning. It is, see, for your learning material. So they will have to use computer, for example, practicals. They will have to work with computers. So they learn through computers, they learn through internet, that is CVL. And CML, we need to upload our content and the students are facilitated to learn on their own. We conduct the test and we also measure the progress of every learner. So exact answer is Google Classroom or Learning Management System. Wonderfully, many of you have given. Great, great of you all. So these are all dealt in, NEP document. And my dear friends, look at here, the evolution of ICT. ICT has not evolved just in 5-10 years time. It has got its own long evolution history. How many of you have listened to radios, FM radios or TVs, the olden days, for academic content? FM radios you would have given, academic program. You should have listened to it. How many of you have listened FM radios? How many of you have watched, TVs, televisions on academic content? Somebody would have appeared on TV and giving you tips for examination, public examination. How many of you? Those who have the experience of listening to TVs and radios, olden days for academic content, press 2 in the chat window. Quickly make it difference. Come on, feel free, my dear friends. That's great. That's great. Quite a good number has listened. So look at the blue color items. They're all old ones. Electronic TVs, e-books, audiobooks. People would listen to a book. Educational videos. There are plenty of educational videos are available. Even if the teachers, if they would like to have clarification, if they like to clarify something, they go to YouTube and clarify instead of going into the books. I don't recommend this method, but many do this way. Audiobooks, educational video, multimedia content, internet protocol TV, interactive whiteboards. People were able to interact and students were able to interact with the whiteboard. Digital storytelling, www, where all the information were available to the students and faculty using www. Smartphones, tablets, iPod, these are all different devices which enhances the learning. Virtual labs and simulations. Without going into the bank, the government has brought in a boon during COVID-19, VLab, virtual laboratory, bringing industry perspective learning platforms for students through simulations. Games are conducted, wikis. There are plenty of Wikipedias. There are plenty of blogs on academia, plenty of podcasts for academia. Applets and Facebook, these are all famous players. They have their own system of doing it. They're all older ones. And today we are talking about, we have learning management system, content management system. What is the difference between learning management system and content management system? Learning management system that we enable the students to learn continuously, and content management system, if I were to edit, it gets reflected in the website. All the stakeholders will be given a username and password to their level, to their authorization level. And through that, they'll be able to just get any improvements recorded. Content management system. If I just do here, it will be getting reflected in the website. MOOCs, massive open online courses. Today there are about thousands of courses online. MOOCs, OER, open educational resources, all that are available free of cost today. They should not be used as it is. OER that encourages anybody, Creative Commons licenses. Anybody can make use of anybody's properties with acknowledgement. OER, open educational resources. Today, colleges are emphasizing on creating 4-quadrant e-modules. So for that, we can even pull out a material from these kind. So my dear friends, educational cloud, Web 2.0, mobile apps, new mobile apps are there. And we've got AI, consequences of AI, VR and AR, augmented reality and virtual reality. See, for example, if I want to give my students, learners, an immersive experience. See, for example, the functioning of heart. Just take the heart in front of them and just check with them how the heart functions and how the blood oozes from one ventricle to the other ventricle in the AI. Similarly, VR, virtual reality, and AR, augmented reality, with the help of technicians. Okay, the AR, VR, augmented reality, and virtual reality. And intelligent learning environment. Now itself, some of the schools have brought in robots into their school, making the schools intelligently managed. Okay, even with administrative, whatnot, dear friends. There are so many innovative pedagogical approaches are waiting. So this is the evolution of ICT. My dear friends, pedagogy. What do you mean by pedagogy? What do you mean by pedagogy? Can someone tell me what do you mean by pedagogy or pedagogy? Can you tell me what do you mean by pedagogy? Can you tell me, my dear friends, what do you mean by pedagogy? Okay, Rosie Madam says art of teaching, sciences of teaching learning. Great, ma'am. Sciences of teaching learning. Okay, great. Generally, come on, dear friends. Okay, great. Great, dear friends. Great. Thank you very much for your answers. My dear friends, it is a science of teaching learning or method of teaching learning evaluation. So pedagogy, as one of the professors has given very clearly, teaching the children. It is a science of teaching the children. I think Bensi Madam has given it clearly. It is detailed plan of developed for teaching, learning, evaluation. Great of you all. Great of you. Thank you, Dr. Shukil Devan. Thank you, Dr. Swadhi. Thank you, Dr. Manju. Thank you, Dr. Binsi. Thank you, Dr. Jichita. Thank you, Dr. Jobi. Thank you, Dr. Rosie. Here, this is the art of teaching, learning, evaluation. Particularly, it is pedagogy is for teaching and learning technique for children, school children. Andragogy is for dealing with college children. Andragogy. Heutagogy is to make them self-learn. Here, this technopedagogy is, the principles of teaching, learning in general, not in colleges, not in school, in general. So now, the arts and science colleges incorporating variety of digital technology into the design of giving the learners a new experience and to give them better outcomes. We give them a new learning experience. We get them better learning outcome. We just meet regularly and get learning outcomes. So my dear friends, it is no more arts and science. It's no more technical word, technopedagogy. Everybody in arts and science should be incorporated with technopedagogy. All our teaching practices should take up digital integration. All our evaluation should be taken into digital integration. Only then we'll be able to give them a new learning experience and better learning outcomes. Okay, my dear friends. My dear friends, the ICT-based teaching learning evaluation has got several features. One is scalable. See, right now, we are about 73 people connected, right? Can I extend the same class for 1,000 people? Is it possible? Those who say yes, press 1. Those who say no, press 2. My dear friends, can I scale them to 1,000 participants more? Yes or no? Yes or no? I just wanted you to just press Y or N. Can I handle the same session for 1,000 people? Is it possible? Is it possible? Is it possible, my dear friends? Can I have your answers? Am I audible to you? Okay. Somebody has given, Sudhi madam has given 8. Sorry, yes. Okay. Aparna madam has given 7. Come on, my dear. Come on, my dear friends. Come on, give your options. Many of you are saying yes. Yes, it is scalable, completely scalable. You know, in physical classroom, maximum we can hold 60 to 100. Similarly, you know, we have physical contact classes, we have limited with space. But when ICT-based teaching learning evaluation, it is scalable. You can extend the beneficiaries any longer. Though it is, scalable and facilitates any type of learners, it measures the progress of every learner. It measures the progress, which means submissions or assignments are submitted. Based on that, only then the certificates will be issued. And it becomes borderless. A student from Kanyakumari may take up a course in Tamil Nadu. A student from Gujarat may take up a course in Madhya Pradesh or West Bengal. It is possible. It has no border. For example, if Swayam offers from IIT Kharagpur, our students use it. So it becomes borderless, my dear friends. Now, my dear friends, I'm just going to give you the education scenario today. Okay, education scenario today. My dear friends, the government of India is envisaging an India with completely technology penetrated into all the walks of our life. Today's education scenario also demands such. Number one, Digital India initiatives. Through Digital India initiative, everything is computerized. Everything is given importance. And even the villages should enjoy the quality education, Digital India initiatives. There are about huge money is invested on this scheme called National Mission on ICT. National Mission on ICT. National Mission on ICT. Okay. NME ICT. National Mission on Education through ICT. National Mission on Education through ICT. And today, earlier, there was only sub-programs. But today, exclusive televisions talking 24/7 are about the topics. Indigenous technologies. Earlier, we were buying it, but today we are able to make our own technologies. And open educational resources. We are making use of OERs completely. You know, all of us are encouraged to enhance technology-based integration. And many of us should complete MOOC courses, and NEP is also one of the changes. Okay, my dear friends. Now, my dear friends, I have just told you about, I was just talking to you about NEP orientation and sensitization program. Now, today, in the second part, we have 4-5 aspects practically to know. Number one, E-Yantra. E-Yantra. Before that, I shall let you know the digital initiatives taken for learning. 1 minute, dear friends. Let me just give you. Is my screen visible, ma'am? Is my screen visible? Yeah. It was just going in the reverse order. That is why I just skipped here. Now, please understand, there was so many ways and means through which technology plays a vital role in academia. Particularly after the introduction of NEP 2020, the digital integration becomes essential part. Keeping that in mind, I shall just take you for different initiatives for better learning. First, we've got digital initiatives for learning. Digital initiatives for learning. Okay. Now, first one is Swayam. Swayam, we've got, exclusive portal where we can create courses and we can run the courses for students across India. We've got Swayam Plus, 24 DTH channel, 24 into 32, 32 DTH channel, 24 into 7, being used. Swayam Prava. People can access the journal, people can access the magazine, and so on. National NDL is National Depository of Library. National Digital Library. National Digital Library. Many books are converted into digital form. It is stored in National Digital Library. NAD, National Academic Depository. After clearing off a student, hereafter the student's mark list will not be printed manually. Either it is connected to NAD, National Academic Depository, through which the mark statements of the students are uploaded and they will be able to receive on their own wherever they are. National Academic Depository. And we have got two schemes, eSodh Sindhu, to learn something more. eSodh Sindhu has got a collection of more than 15,000 research journals. eSodh Sindhu. eSodh Ganga, that helps us to refer several theses. Several theses which are similar to our own research. So eSodh Sindhu, eSodh Ganga. eSodh Sindhu and eSodh Sindhu for e-journal and eSodh Ganga for theses. My dear friends, these are all some of the practical tools for learning on their own, practical based learning. Number one, FOSSEE. Free, and it is to promote free and open. There is a scheme in Kalaignar Arivalayam. There is a scheme, FOSSEE, which means free and open source software in education. The students and faculty members can avail free and open source software. That could be used. For example, we are using MS Office. MS Office, Microsoft Office is not free. Instead, we can go for LibreOffice, which are completely free. We've got Photoshop, it is paid, whereas GIMP, it is completely free. So likewise, we can go for free and open source software for education. There is a list. Please go to FOSSEE website and you will get a lot of, free and open source software listed. And my dear friends, you have got eYantra. eYantra is one of the effective schemes to introduce robotics among engineering institutions. Robotic. And we also have a scheme called Spoken Tutorial by IIT Bombay to make the students learn computer-based languages. eKalpa, to have a digital learning platform by crafting the resource person. With the resource persons will note down, will just send their availability, and through which we will be able to learn digital content. And virtual laboratories to carry out the practical examination. We have virtual labs. So these are all that enhances the students with practical learning or practical exposure. Digital connectivities. Please understand, in order to have seamless connection today, the campus connectivity program was introduced much earlier in the year 2010, where the government of India connected all the campuses with broadband. And my dear friends, secondly, Talk to a Teacher. It is a scheme by IIT Bombay. On Friday, 5 o'clock. Okay, Friday, 4 to 5. I'm sorry, Friday, 4 to 5 for Friday, 4 to 5 is for engineering, and Thursday for engineering, and Friday is for, physics students. 4 to 5 every week. Talk to a Teacher. This scheme is called Talk to a Teacher. And there is a scheme also called Ask a Question. And there is also a scheme of, storing the repository, NME ICT portal, eAcharya. So these are all some of the digital connectivities based on the academic, based on NEP and based on academic ventures through us. And my dear friends, we also have got two schemes for Research Connect. One is Vidwan, eVidwan. See, we load all our research credential over here, eVidwan. And you'll be able to search some of the best resource person if you'd like to invite anybody from abroad and so on. Every detail, if they have done nationally or internationally, you'll be able to get it. And there's also a scheme called Badal. It is for the higher education institutions to create repository of e-content. Create repository of e-content. So my dear friends, the list goes on. Now, some of the common initiatives that are taken to enhance the quality of higher education. Please carefully note it, my dear friends. Some of the common, we have got NIR, completely uninterrupted, unhuman interrupted, automated evaluation. Gayan, it is a global network for international collaboration between experts. Gayan. TechIP is to improve the quality of teaching learning in technical education, particularly polytechnic and so on. Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya Mission on Teachers Training. It is a national mission for teachers and trainers for development, PMMTTs. Okay, Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya Mission on Teachers Training. RUSA, it is the central government scheme to emphasize research in local ground, to emphasize research in deserving institution. And there is also research-based innovation introduced by IITs, IASCs. So we can send our students for these programs. So these are all some of the digital initiatives apart from what we have listed, my dear friends. Now I'm just moving on to yet another interesting segment, my dear friends, online teaching learning platforms. Please understand, online learning platforms. See, we have got several online learning platforms such as MOOC, Swayam, NPTEL, and so on. So these are all platforms where we can authentically study any course. So my dear friends, earlier it was only 20%. If the program is taught completely in the campus, it is 100%, right? So now in a semester, if you have 7 papers, out of 7, 3 papers the students should be given freedom to take up from any part of the country. So similarly, a student from St. Joseph's College would like to study in IIT Kanpur. If a student could satisfy the criteria, yes, he or she can attend a course offered by IIT Kharagpur, IIT Madras, and so on. See, please understand, for about this semester, for about 7 courses, out of 7, 3 courses the student can avail from any platform. 3 courses the students can avail in any platform. Okay, through official government platform, Swayam or NPTEL. Okay, my dear friends. So what will we do? What will we do if the students go out of a college for learning? What is the workload? What will we do with the workload? So you and me should be ready to offer similar online courses. Earlier, only IITs, NITs were provided opportunity to offer courses. But today, all the arts and science institutions are given freedom to offer or are given offers to start online courses, sometimes online program itself. Okay, keep that in mind. This is another, NEP's recommendation. My dear friends, blended learning. Blended learning earlier, it's something connected with the earlier version also. Now, let me also add up one more point. There is also concept introduced, multiple entries with multiple exits. If a student has studied a first year in one of the institution, and when he or she can join in any institution and continue the education. Multiple entries and multiple exits. If I don't like the second year, I will get a degree, instead of degree, a diploma. That's all. I can just go ahead. These are all some of the new initiatives of NEP. And my dear friends, 4 years degrees were also introduced. Many of the states, 4 years degrees are introduced. Now, let us move on to the next, blended learning. Blended learning, on looking at the picture, we are very clear with the explanation, or it is self-explanatory. We are able to have blend of both offline as well as online classes. both offline as well as online classes. We call it as blended learning. My dear friends, the blended learning has got two major types of teaching learning evaluation. Number one, synchronous, which means the learner and the teacher. Please carefully note it. The learner and the teachers are simultaneously connected in a platform for learning. Right now, as a trainer, I myself and all of us as listeners, we are all connected in a similar platform. It is an example of synchronous teaching learning. That's teaching. If I conduct an exam, it is an evaluation. So synchronous teaching learning evaluation. Asynchronous, the teacher upload the content and the student can access the content at any time when they are free. Asynchronous, they need not connect together. Okay, asynchronous. So these two modes are very important. And if we wanted to have blended learning, we should have rich digital repositories. We should have simulators for all our practicals. So these are all some of the elements related to blended learning. And my dear friends, we should also be ready to conduct any type of test only online, virtual assessments. Okay, these are all some of the examples of blended learning. Now, what are the features of blended learning? Blended learning that could permit learning anytime, anywhere, with any device. And it should be user-friendly, completely flexible with timing, flexible with the syllabi. Though it is learner-centric, it also has learner control. Learner control. Okay, learners are at control. And we use individual and interactive element. Now we interact with the students. Individualized assignments are given. Multimedia and multimodal. We reach out to the students in a multimedia content, audio video lectures, pictures, attracting pictures, and so on. Multimodal is sometimes synchronous, sometimes asynchronous. My dear friends, why we have failed during COVID-19? The reason is very clear. All of us has gone in for only online teaching completely 5 hours every day. Is it possible to just hold a smart mobile phone learning continuously? It's very difficult for the entire day, right? So my dear friends, these are all some of the features of blended learning. And now this is one of the best models of blended learning. Please keep that in mind, my dear friends. One of the best models of blended learning, flipped model approach. Please carefully note it, my dear friends. This is also emphasized in NEP document. Now, usually in OBE, OBE cognitive levels. These two, up to what level will you just go ahead in your classes? Up to what level, dear friends? There are cognitive levels up to 6, right? 1 to 6. What is your level during the classes? Can you please give me what is your level during your classes? Come on, my dear friends. During your classes, up to what level you go? You can press number from the bottom. 1, 2, 3 from the bottom. Up to what level? Come on, my dear friends, during the classes up to evaluation. Dr. Binsi, is it so? Up to evaluation, you make the students do it in the classroom itself. That's something amazing. Come on, dear friends. Anybody else? Come on, my dear friends. Anybody else? Create, up to create. Madam, are you able to make them work, create something on the classroom itself within 1 hour? My dear friends, in my humble opinion, thank you. Many of you are going up to 5. In my simple opinion, look at here, most of our classes for undergraduates, most of our classes stay here itself. We make them remember, we make them understand. That's all. By explaining, we make them understand. Then what do we do? How do we make the students to grow with all these skills? In traditional method, we give them homework through which students themselves, they are able to apply, analyze, evaluate, and create on their own in traditional model. Instead of traditional model, look at here in flipped model, you get ready with audio video lectures, give it to the students prior advanced. And by watching the video, they'll be able to learn. So watching is taking outside the classroom and the learning also with 2 levels. remembering and understanding, taking outside the classrooms. In the classroom, inside the classroom, we are able to apply certain things. See, for example, when the students are given audio video lectures, by watching they gain knowledge. Okay, so once they gain knowledge, with the knowledge they come into the classrooms. So with that knowledge, put them into small teams, have some group discussion, watch them keenly, tell them to apply, tell them to evaluate, tell them to analyze, tell them to create something new. You will have to create your assignments very clearly and give it to the students. Okay, they will carry out this exercise in the class. Am I clear to you, my dear friends? See, the learning usually done in classroom taking place outside. Remembering, understanding is taking place outside. And inside the classroom, we are able to divide the teams into many groups and give them some questions, and they apply, they analyze, they evaluate and create something on their own. So this is what we call by flipped model classroom. In flipped model classroom, it is very much obvious that we can impart higher order thinking skills. Look at here, they understand and remember our lower order thinking skills, whereas apply, analyze, evaluate and create our higher order thinking skills. Okay, my dear friends. Right, let me just go ahead. So how to enhance the blended learning? We need to customize learning management system based on our institutional standards. We need to make use of ICT tools for teaching as well as interaction. We need to have ICT tools for activities, and we need to interact. Every activity that we do should be connected to ERP to enhance blended learning. Okay, my dear friends. Now I shall just move one by one all the three components of teaching, learning and evaluation. With regard to teaching, online classes, webinars are usually conducted in two modes, synchronous as well as asynchronous. But this POP is completely something new. POP, Professor of Practice. This Professor of Practice is not qualified completely with UGC NET and MPhil or PhD and so on. Instead, a domain expert from a particular industry can be called into the college and ask them to deal a lesson. If not in physically, at least online. Expertise sharing for a particular paper. Locally, there will be a course teacher, but we have expertise sharing among our students, our stakeholders. Now look at here, my dear friends. For learning, we have got three elements. Self-learning. We encourage the learners to learn on their own. Virtual learning. Wherever they are, the teaching and learning goes on. Smart learning, using computers, using mobile phones, we are able to do learning, smart learning. So these are all three factors for learning. How can we enhance learning? We should have interactive and gamified learning facilities. We should have rich repository or rich resources for ebooks and content. And my dear friends, UGC emphasizes on discussion forums. Discussion forums are very important, where the students could discuss easily and come out with their brain. Activity-based learning. We should have some activities. The classes should have some activities, should have fun elements. So these are all some of the enhancements of learning. So my dear friends, let me just go ahead. Yeah, look at here. Okay. Now, my dear friends, we were talking about teaching, learning. Now we are moving on to assessment. Assessment has got three parts. We've got formative assessment, we've got summative assessment, we've got diagnostic assessment. If you are starting a lecture, it is better that get to know the level of the students. We can conduct diagnostic assessment. The assessment need not be always written note. It can be online also. So diagnosing the problems for learners. And formative assessment. Every lecture has to be assessed. Every lecture. Summative assessment at the end of the semester or at the end of the unit. Okay. And my dear friends, Look at here, these are all major elements for assessments. We need to create, we need to enable critical thinking among the learners. The students must critically think, and these type of questions should be practiced among the learners. And more than the knowledge, skill is also given more importance, skill competency. And when you evaluate the same thesis, you give 90, but I give only 60. There should not be any biases. There should be no, bias situation evaluation where there is a problem for unbiased evaluation. So for rubrics, for creating rubrics, we can make use of AI tool to just to have unbiased evaluation, so that will be guided by the rubrics. Rubrics will specify everything, how many marks should be given and how it should be given and so on. All that will be given very clear picture, so that we can also have smarter assessments. My dear friends, though I was talking to you about the glamours of ICT based teaching, learning, evaluation guided by NEP, these are all some of the challenges. Students' involvement. We may be with a lot of enthusiasm, but whether the students are completely involved in the classes. Creativity. See, for example, if we are not creative as teachers into the modern teaching, learning, evaluation, it becomes monotonous and it becomes bored. Personal touch. Some of you will feel that there won't be personal touch. Okay. See, friends, we are all going to be there connected. Only thing is that we need to just create exactly, as if we are in person connected. We can create a personal touch by interacting. There is no hard and fast rule that even for online teaching, learning, evaluation, we can interact with the children. There is no harm. Okay, we can maintain personal touch, but just by calling them one by one and just encouraging them for their work and so on. And better relationship. And we need to train them, train the students and the teachers with a lot of exposure. So my dear friends, there is also another caution, that digital divide. One part of the country where there are no gadgets properly, but in the other part, there are advanced, technological growth. So there is naturally a digital divide. How are we going to overcome? My dear friends, look at here. Based on NEP guidelines, higher education syllabi should be redesigned. Not only syllabus, but also infrastructure facilities for online and blended learning. And my dear friends, the system should be entirely flexible. The university should give consent to their programs of the colleges. And the colleges should give freedom to the teachers to conduct classes whenever they are free. And you and me as teachers should be more and more interactive and innovative. And we need to be collaborative also among the teachers. That is how this interdisciplinary collaboration arrives. And above all, we need to interact with the students today. See, I use the tool called Slido regularly. I interact with my children regularly. I'm able to get all their opinion regularly. So they think that I'm just respecting them. So we need to be more interactive. When we are interactive, the students show their involvement, my dear friends. So my dear friends, for interaction, I'm going to make use two tools, Slido or Mentimeter. You can tell me, I shall guide you accordingly, Slido or Mentimeter. And for next, look at here, this the tool called Nearpod. I'm not going to deal with that, but I want you to please refer. I want you to please go through this. I want you to please use this tool for your creating interactive lessons. So you can create interactive lessons. You can create content. You can create content along with interactive lessons. So content with interactiveness. And we should also have blended learning. The content, please understand. Imagine a presentation with 10 slides. The first 3 slides will go, and immediately after that, there's an activity. And next 3 slides, another activity of evaluation. That can be in a gamified manner. So it is a blend of both content as well as activity for learning. And my dear friends, it also helps us to create gamified assessments, gamified learning. Okay. So my dear friends, these are all tools for formative assessments. I told you every lecture, UGC says every lecture has to be assessed. The learner has to be assessed with formation. If the students do not understand a particular concept based on the review, we should be able to deal with that again for the benefit of the students. So these are all formative assessment tool which helps us to conduct the formative assessment so easily. And my dear friends, one such tool is Socrative. You can explore this Socrative that creates Socrative account and create quiz, launches the quiz and extract the results class-wise, individually, and so on. So this is Socrative. And look at here, my dear friends, I was talking to you about giving them audio video lectures prior to your classes for flipped model classroom, for which you can make use of these tools for recording. These are all tools very much familiar to all of us. They can be effectively used for recording the content on our own. And my dear friends, these are all tools for interactive boards. See, if you want to, if I want to call a student onto the board, they will be psychologically ill. Instead, if I ask them to take the mobile phone, they'll be able to mark down in the entire page. I will also give you an exposure. So, my dear friends, I'm going to give you one by one, practical exposure on interactive tool, Slido or Mentimeter. Then we will have, tools relevant to OER portal, open educational resources, and we will have tool for interactive board, and we will have, OER sites. Look at here, OER. These are all top listed OER sites where you can get any type of material, not only books. You can also get lecture notes, you can get gamification, you can get some instruments, you can get any type of material from all these top listed OERs. Okay, my dear friends. So with that, I shall stop. If you have any clarification, you are most welcome. So my dear friends, I would like to reiterate all the points that I have just put forth to you. So please carefully note it down one by one. And if you want to clarify anything, you're most welcome to clarify. My dear friends, I was talking to you about telecommunication transformation. Okay, from 1G to 5G, I have given you the technical nuances of every generation of telecommunication transformation. And I was just insisting that the globalization is not just because of COVID-19, it is the need of the hour. My dear friends, we have also elaborately explored evolution of education from education 1.0 to education 4.0, and modern days of teaching, learning, evaluation introduced by UGC is computer assisted instruction. And we have just got to know how computer are used for reaching out to the students for teaching them, academic content. And secondly, computer-based learning, making use of computers for learning, and and we've got computer managed learning, uploading the content, learning, accessing the learning, and evaluation. Everything is facilitated in computer managed learning. We have also explored evolution of ICT-based teaching, learning, evaluation. We have also talked about technopedagogical approaches, what is technopedagogy and how it could differ. And I have also given you the picture of ICT-based teaching, learning, evaluation, their character, scalability, measurable, and borderless. And similarly, I have also given the scenario today in education arena. And my dear friends, later we have explored the digital initiatives for learning. Okay, we have got scheme Swayam Prabha, we have got Swayam Prabha, Swayam NDL, NAD, and E-Sodh Sindhu, Sodh Ganga, all that. And my dear friends, we've got practical learning tools, E-Antra for robotics, FASI for open source tools, Spoken Tutorial for getting the questions answered, E-Kalpa for digital repository, and virtual labs for carrying out practicals. Similarly, we have got different other schemes called, campus connectivity, talk to a teacher, ask a question, E-Acharya. And for research, we've got two, E-Vidwan and Central Cloud called Badal. And other schemes that are powered by the government of India is NIRF without complete human intervention, GAYAN, a technical interaction with international forum, TechIP to manage technical teachers from Polytechnic, and we have got Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Mission on Teachers Training. It is now converted into MMTTCs. And RUSA, which supports state government, and Imprint is also a scheme to enhance quality of education. I was also talking to you about the 40% of courses being taken by the students online, and I gave you insights on blended learning, features of blended learning. I was also talking to you about flipped model classroom, and I was just giving them instruction on 3 elements: teaching, learning, evaluation. 3 elements: teaching, learning, evaluation. And I've also explored different tools, different tools for interaction, different tools for creating different tools for creating, creative interaction. And we have different tools for formative assessment, different tools for e-content recording, and different portals for open education, portals for interactive board, and we've got top listed OER. My dear friends, I've just given you, I've completed the theoretical part. I just wanted you to please reflect upon what is the takeaway. With that, we go. What is the takeaway? What is the takeaway? What is the takeaway that you've got it? Madam, Manju Madam, is it a question? Manju Madam?
Yes,
Manju,
sir.
yeah, could you please come on to the mic, ma'am? Yeah, tell me, ma'am. I'll clarify.
It was very interesting session, and also a lot of insights given to use the ICT tools, and also various websites that is available with e-learning process, and it was very beneficial for the teacher community actually, and to teach the students effectively.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
So, my dear friends, is there any insight any takeaway? Please give it in the chat window. What is your takeaway from the presentation? If you want to add anything, you're most welcome. Like Dr. Manju, if you want to add anything, you're most welcome. Come on. We have 2-3 minutes for break. We shall go for break and come back in 15 minutes for a practical exposure. Okay. Right. 3:15 to 3:30 break, and 3:30 to 4:45. 15 minutes since I have delayed. So we'll complete it by 4:45. Okay. It is a request to you. I'm sorry for starting the session bit delayed. We'll complete it by 4:45. So my dear friends, please carefully note it. I want all of you to please give your takeaway. What is something which touched you? What is something you could take it to your institution and carry out? Please type that, and you can all leave, and 3:30 please join again. I want everyone to just give your insights and go. Takeaways from this. 3:30 please join again after the tea. Enjoy your tea and come back. Before you leave, we have 2 minutes to 3:15. Please type your insights. What is your takeaway from this session? Come on, quickly give your insights, and we may leave and come back for interesting session on practical demonstration. Yeah, I shall share Dr. Manju, certainly. Come on, my dear friends, come on. What is your takeaway? What is your takeaway? Come on, please let me know what is your takeaway. My dear friends, are you all there? Can I have your takeaways? Okay, you can come back after tea. We'll discuss. Thank you very much.